Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Knitter channel. My name is Steph and I live in downtown Columbus, Ohio in the United States. And it is September. I'm feeling very fall. It was cold this morning. When I woke up it said it was 65, but it is now 78. So I'm actually gonna change. I have somewhere to be today, actually in an hour and a half. So I'm going to put on summer clothes again instead of fall, which that's fine. I like summer. I love summer. It's my favorite season. Anyway, this is my second time recording this podcast because I tried recording a few nights ago, and when I uploaded the footage and started editing it, I noticed that I was fine, but this area over here was dark. And so my phone was just very grainy and it was like shifting, and it was annoying me after like 2 minutes of just editing. So I knew watching a full like 25-minute podcast, that was gonna be awful. So I recorded and checked and everything looks fine. I have the windows or the shades down because otherwise the apartment just gets really hot. Anyway, it's all good, hopefully. So, with that being said, I have knit further than the last time I podcasted, and I have so much to show you. So I'm just gonna start. The pile is right here. First thing I'll show are socks. So I finished a pair of socks, and it is these. So because I've already podcasted, I have already moved all of my progress keepers. So the last time I showed these, I was somewhere on, no, I had just started the cuff. And if you notice, I ran out of yarn by a lot. And I had, after I finished these socks, I had weighed my remainder skein and it was 25 grams. So what this tells me is that was more than 50 grams for that skein. And if I had weighed the sock, that would have told me that I was over. Oh well. So I ended up with this big block of Knit Pick Stroll, which is considerably softer than the Sensations yarn, which is the stripes. So these were and are a gift for my dad for Christmas, but now that they came out so kind of wonky, I'm gonna make him 2 pairs. So I'll still give him this, but because they're, you know, they're not as nice as I had wanted them to be, I'll make him a second pair. Honestly, like, this is gonna be in your shoe. You're not gonna really notice that unless, you know, you're wearing just socks. To be honest, my dad doesn't do much anymore, so maybe you are gonna see these a lot if he wears them, but yeah, so that's that. I did a 2x2 rib for like 15 or 20 rounds, and then 60 rounds, and then a German short row, and then 70 rounds, and then I did like a rounded toe or something. I don't know if people care about that. Like, people on podcasts that I watch, like, always kind of explain how they do their, like, the socks and stuff. I don't care really how you do your socks because it's so dependent on your gauge, the yarn that you're using, who you're making it for, that it doesn't matter to me how, like, what stitch count you use for your socks, because I don't know you. I don't know what your shoe size is. I don't know. And even then, like, for me, I have wide feet, wide and short feet. So like I can fit into a 6.5 shoe, but because they get narrower, like my foot itself can't fit into that. So like my shoe size is a 7.5, but sometimes I can't wear a 7.5 because they're too narrow. But then I get bigger, and then I could literally like fold over the front of my shoe. So basically what I'm saying is my shoe size does not equate to how short I knit my socks. So anyway, pair of socks completed. Next thing I want to show you is my finished ripple bralette. I have not woven the ends because I tend to weave in, like I just do a mass weave in day where I just weave in all my ends on multiple projects at one time because I don't like weaving in ends. It's like one of my least favorite things, weaving in ends and seaming, just not my thing. So the ripple bralette is by Jessie Made Designs, and the yarn for the very last time is Teal Torch Knits in Dancing on Top of Cars. This is one of my favorite colorways that I've ever purchased, and it does look very tiny, but it is, you know, ribbing, it stretches, so I think it'll be just fine. And it's a bra, right? So it's supposed to have a lot of negative ease. So with that, yeah, I went down quite a few needle sizes because I wasn't liking the gauge. So for the ribbing, it's a lot tighter. The whole thing is ribbing. So for the cuff ribbing, it's a lot tighter. You're still seeing some airy gaps here, but not as bad as it was before. Like you can see the shadow of my hand, but I'm very excited to wear this at least once this year before the weather cools off. It's just so pretty. I really like it. And I definitely could make a second one out of the leftovers that I have. I'm not going to. I'm still kind of iffy on what I'm going to make with the leftovers, but it's just so gorgeous. And the last finished object, that's right, there are 3 finished objects in this episode. It is my birds of a feather. I've finally done it, you guys. I finally finished it. Just take a moment. This was not my favorite thing to make. Nope, it was not. But the result is just beautiful. So I have quite a lot of ends to weave in. Birds of the Feather is by Andrea Mowry, and I knit mine out of Lina issue 2. You can buy it online on Ravelry, or a lot of yarn stores will carry like Andrea Mowry patterns. I'm not sure if Birds of a Feather is printed as an individual pattern or if it's just individually inside of Lina, but either way, it is like an asymmetrical shawl. It's very interesting in shape. It has like this center spine. So you start at the tip down there, and then you keep working evenly, and then you get to basically this corner here, and then you stop increasing on one side, and then the way that the asymmetrical, so right here, so the way that the center spine works out is that it ends up shifting the stitches over to the other side. So it looks like you're like increasing, but you have the same amount of stitches. It's just shifting where it is on what side of the center spine it is. The yarns that I used for this, for the last time, is Teal Torch Knits, Sinking in My Soul, and A Sunday Kind of Love. And I purchased all of this Teal Torch knit yarn at Vogue Knitting Live in 2019 when there was a Vogue Knitting Live in Columbus. And if you want to see a little bit more about Vogue Knitting Live, I have a little bit in my Vlogtober from 2019. I don't think I did a Vlogtober for 2020 because pandemic, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't really like allowed to do much. So I'm pretty sure I didn't do any. I was trying to vlog, but it ended up just being me talking to the camera inside of my apartment every day because there was nothing going on. So, I love it. I love Teal Torch Knits and how she dyes her yarn. And I can't wait to buy some more. Why did I not like this pattern? Let's talk through that. So I've said it a couple times, but typically when I knit, almost always, unless the pattern says otherwise, I slip my first stitch of the row so that it makes a really nice edge. And that was a pain in the butt with the way that the increases worked, especially on the mohair. So that was not enjoyable. And then at the very end, I had to break into my second skein of mohair, which was really frustrating because I probably used 5 grams of the next skein of mohair. I mean, I very well could have just, you know, because what you're doing at the end is you're kind of striping the mohair with, like, you're not knitting it together, but you're kind of doing little blips of striping. So I could have just extended using the merino instead, so you can like very much see it right here, that striping, right? Like I could have just not done the mohair stripe and just kept going with the merino, but I was like, you know what? This has been a pain to knit, and when I just said pain, mohair fluff just flew away. But like I was like, this has been a pain, and I have another skein of mohair. I'm just gonna do it because, you know, knitting with mohair is just not my favorite thing. We'll see when I wear this how I like the mohair on my skin. So that's that. So forewarning, I did run out of mohair for my birds of a feather. The next thing, I do have a half completed object, almost, and that is the Blob Socks. And it is almost, because all I have to do is weave in the ends, and I want to do it's that sewn bind off, so it's like a very, very nice edge, and I want to do that as my cuff, and I don't have that memorized, so I just need to look it up and do it. So that's that. And I really just need to do that so that I can cast on the second pair, because these did not take very long to knit and I really like them, and I really, you know, I'm gonna wear them for fall. I think they look so nice. The yarn I'm using is Plymouth, like Happy Feet 100 or something, in the blueberry colorway. I didn't weigh this, but I know I have enough, and I will most likely have extras in this. I really like this colorway. I think this colorway is gorgeous. It's just so pretty. Blues and purples, forever just a color that I really like. Not much to say about those. I'll be excited when those are finished. This summer I tried to participate in the summer sock camp, and you know, just knitting socks for 3 months, it's just not for me. And I think that's really why I have so many finished objects, because halfway through August I was just kind of like, you know, I just don't want to knit socks. Like I just don't. I like socks, I like knitting socks, I just don't like to knit socks only. So that was like the spur of getting these other projects done. And then another item that I'm almost finished with is my second any day sweater. And this is by Lily Kate France. It looks finished, right? The only thing I need to do is pick up for the collar, and I think maybe like 4 rounds. I don't know. It's like barely anything. Picking up is probably what's going to take me the longest. And then I just got to weave in the ends and I'm done. And then I will have a second any day sweater knit out of the same yarn that the first one is knit out of, which is Wonder Fluff by Knit Picks in the Hair Heather. Of all the things that I am showing you today, this is the thing I recommend you make. The other any day sweater that I have, I followed the pattern and the body is just, I wear it with this dress. And so the skirt part starts, okay. So you can see the skirt part starts right here. My belly button is here. And I guess this is like my natural waist. Yeah, because my ribs end right here. So rib ends here, belly button's down here. So it's a couple inches. And then my hip is here, I guess. So it's like this is a good spot for where a lot of dresses hit, and sweaters hit a little bit lower than that. So like this one is at my belly button, and I wanted this one longer. The red one that I have is shorter and it hits pretty much up here. And so it works really well with dresses. But I wanted a longer version. Hence this guy. You knit this inside out, so you will end up wearing it with your reverse stockinette showing. So this is what it'll look like. And you've got this slip stitch detail on the front and on the back, and you end up with a nice detail between the ribbing and the body. It's almost like a braid, if you can see that. And you get that on the sleeves, the cuffs, and on the sleeves you again get that slipped stitch detail. It's a lot longer than the body part. I kind of wish I'd made it shorter now that I'm looking at it in the camera, but so that is what this sweater will look like, and I'm very excited for it. It is so quick to knit. It's bulky yarn on big needles. It's so quick, and using the Knit Picks yarn makes this a very affordable sweater. I think I end up using four skeins, I think. 4 or 5 skeins to make this. Okay, this is a lot of fluff going on. So if you're, you want to make like a cute sweater, but you don't want to spend a ton of money, and you can get Knit Picks, I like A+, 5 stars. I recommend this sweater. It looks so nice. Yeah. And it's so simple. Here's the other colorway that I used previously. And I have basically 2 skeins of it. Well, it's more like a skein and a half. So I'm gonna have a similar amount for the other one. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with those leftovers. The only other project that I've been working on, okay, the fluff. The only other project I've been working on is the Argyle Tank by Claire Lakewood, and it is in this issue of Pom Pom, which is summer 2019, and this is it. So the version that I'm knitting is the same color, but I'm doing a lighter color stripe instead of the gray. So that is Turn, which is wool and silk, and I'm using the Cumulus color, and Sparrow is the linen, and I'm using Penny. And this is what it looks like so far. So this is the back, and I am working on the back left, right? So it's gonna pretend I'm on the back, right? So it'll come up like this, and then you continue and you increase to make the front, and then you do the same thing on this side. And then once you knit enough of however you're supposed to do, you then connect it together. So you'll have kind of like this. So it'll come down, and then once you get to a certain amount, you connect it and knit all the way across. I am very much looking forward to this. This, I think, is going to be so pretty when I'm wearing it. And it's been also pretty quick to knit. This part is kind of fiddly because you're knitting back and forth on 10 stitches. I haven't quite decided if I like carrying up my yarn or if I just do one long strand. I did check the pattern, and I am gonna have to pick up stitches and then immediately cast off so that I do have like an edge. And I'm not sure yet if having carried up my yarn, if that's gonna be a hindrance when I pick it up. We'll see, we'll find out. And then I will write that in the notes, maybe on Ravelry. So very much looking forward to this. And I do have another cardigan that is on the needles, and it is the All the Lights cardigan by Hohi that I started last year. And that is a very complicated cardigan. I want to get out and work on it some more, but I really want to cast on something simpler, maybe like a sweater in the round. Because right now, I'm almost finished with the sweater that I have in the round. This is not knit in the round. And then I did finish the other garment that I've got. So I'm feeling pretty good about starting a new garment. I think I want to have this finished and the Any Day sweater finished before I start the next garment. But otherwise, I don't have a ton on the needles because of finishing so much. And I feel so good about that. And I have it in my pretend field bag that I made myself. And it just looks so cute. Oh, this bag looks so cute. I wish it had a little bit more structure, but I love the way it turned out. So let's talk about acquisitions or yarn that I've bought and brought into my stash. I did a special order, it was a special order to knit a sweater, and it is the McMullen Fiber Co. So I bought a sweater's quantity of this. This is Mountain Green and this is Desert Rose. So it'll be a colorwork sweater. This will be the contrast color. This will be the body. This is like a tealy green. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. It might be showing it very dark green. Let's see. Does that do anything? Maybe. So I've got this. I have a feeling that I'm going to not use up so I have 5 of this. I'm probably only going to need 4. I think I'll need 2 of this, but we'll see. So I have a feeling that I bought more yarn than I needed, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just cast this on. It's rare for me to buy yarn and then immediately cast it on, but I'm kind of thinking I want to do that for this because I don't think like that sweater is going to take me very long. I think it's a Jennifer Steingass one. I also bought yarn today at like this smallish festival that one of the local yarn stores, it's a yarn truck, it's Yarn Birds. So she was having this, I think it's called September Affair, and just some dyers that were set up. I've been wanting to knit a sorrel, but I wanted to go like really moody, so like a really dark green to a black. And I haven't been able to find that really dark green. So I did find this really dark teal. And what I'm gonna do is knit the dark teal into black. and I'm only gonna do the 2 colors because fades are just not my thing. Just not my thing. I like my yarn to like shine, and when you do a fade, I feel and this is just my personal opinion, I find that you can't, like, they're not shining, and it's like, well, then why did I spend the money on that? Because it's not popping, I guess. Like, you can't see the individualness, so I don't know, it's kind of a weird logic, but just fades have never been my favorite thing to do. So I bought 2, this is Apothecary, and they are all in the brocade colorway. So this is the, this is Surrey Alpaca, and this is Wool Silk. So 70% wool, 30% silk. So together they will be the top of my sorrel, and then once I get to the bottom, it'll be black. Destination Yarns was there, and so I picked up the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park in the Stellina, so the glittery one. Love it. And then I also picked up Fig and Posy in the merino linen, so it's 90% merino, 10% linen, and it is in the poppy colorway. It is so bright. I love it. I love it so much. And I'm going to knit it is a tank top by Sari Nordland, and it's the one that has the lace. It's like a racer back tank top and it has a lace in the back. So you need 2 skeins for it. Well, you need 470 yards, and this is 400. I need 470. So I think I'll just make the tank top just longer. We'll see. We'll see how long it actually is. But so I grabbed this, and I'm very excited for this. I think this will be a beautiful tank top. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was I was at Walmart the other day. I don't go to Walmart often. I go almost never, but I needed to buy windshield wipers and or wiper blades inserts. And I just went to the fabric section, and they had this like adorable fabric pack of these beautiful fall fabrics. Whoop. I just thought they were so pretty. So I kind of just had to buy it. And I want to make like some sort of patchwork bag. I want to make like a big bag for like knitting sweaters, because I have a lot of medium bags that I can use for socks and hats, some for shawls, but not a ton of really big bags for blankets or large garments. So I would like to make like a big bag with this, and I think it would be really cute. And that, oh, sorry guys for making you move, but that is today's episode. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Looking at yarn always makes me really excited, and I've just been really in the mood to knit and craft. I'm just gonna hold all of the yarns that have recently come into my life, which this is ridiculous. I don't need all this, but I do. It just makes me happy. All these beauties. So many of them are just so similar in color. It's like reddish pink and then greenish blue. It's literally everything that's in my arm. So it's the color of the season for me. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or if you want to get a hold of me, All my social medias are at the beginning of the episode, but you can always leave a comment down below. And I hope all of you guys are also feeling that itch to knit, that itch to craft, and I hope you're safe, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Bye.